So there I was. It's 2 a.m. I'm 4 hours into a ground support mission providing armed overwatch. I'm in my mighty A-10 Warthog, circling high above a small village. It's pitch black outside, and I am bored. My 5-hour energy is gone. The bridge of my nose aches from the constant pressure of my night vision goggles, and I have to pee. But that's when I see it. Right there in my targeting pod display, a bunch of white, hot infrared signatures appear as if out of nowhere. My wingman confirmed it. 12 to 15 individuals had just emerged from a building and were headed straight towards the team we were there to protect. Together, we warned the ground forces of the emerging threat. And what followed was nearly 5 minutes of constant communication as we talked to every ground commander, air commander, operations center, even some lawyers. Anyone we thought that needed to know about the situation, all the while watching the slow, meandering, stealthy approach of the enemy. And then it happened. They got too close to the friendly position. Hog 1, you're cleared in hot. It was go time. Hog 1 is in hot. I roll in straight down the middle of that village. I put my gun cross smack in the middle of that group. Pulling the trigger, I decimate the entire, and I mean the entire, herd of goats. The thrill of victory gave way to a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach. You see, as I rolled in, those images on my targeting pod display got clearer. And right before the bullets hit those people, they suddenly had 4 legs. The ground team confirmed it. There was nothing left of those goats. Now, even if you apply the 10% truth rule of all good fighter pilot stories, this is not looking good. The mission was ruined. The objective was lost. The United States government was obligated to the replacement cost of that sad, sickly herd of goats. But worst of all, I was grounded, pending an investigation. When you manage to fail this spectacularly, how do you recover from it? I was a big, bad A-10 pilot whose cocky attitude would have made Maverick look humble. I was supposed to be the hero, the flying knight in titanium armor, not the annihilator of barnyard creatures. Self-doubt is not a comfortable feeling, and I didn't like it. My actions were laid bare before that investigation board as they dissected my every decision and questioned my every choice. Now, to truly understand the devastation this had on me, you have to go back to the pre-goat pie. I was a straight-A student in high school, all-state cross-country and track. I graduated number 2 from the academy as an intercollegiate athlete and a jump master on the Wings of Blue team. I had won a prestigious scholarship to study abroad after the academy, where I got not 1, but 2 master's degrees in 2 years. I was dedicated to my flight training. I worked my tail off, but I did not fail. And yet, here I was, twiddling my thumbs, wondering if everything I'd worked for since I was 12 years old was lost in an event that happened in less than 5 minutes. As I sat chained to that ops desk, staring bleakly out the window, watching my squadron mates take off on mission after mission after mission, I felt desolated. I had given it my best, and I had fallen short. After what seemed like an eternity, the investigation board concluded. No statements, no recommendations. I was returned to flying status. Not the same egomaniacal attack pilot as before. A bit more cautious, a lot less self-assured. But the mission of protecting ground forces was still mine, and I had to move forward. A lot of you may be sitting out there saying, that's a pretty funny story, Pi, but it doesn't apply to me. I'm an AFRL. I'm an engineer. I'm a program manager. I'm a contractor. I'm not a warfighter. I don't pull the trigger. But I would suggest that you're wrong. You see, you're not just working in some academic lab somewhere on an esoteric technology. At AFRL, we have a really tough mission. We are supposed to look into the future and develop those capabilities and technologies to enable the next generation of warfighter to win in a battle space that has not yet been defined, against an enemy that has not yet been determined, with weapons that don't yet exist. Weapons that you're supposed to create. How many of you have ever pitched a great idea that was never even considered for development? How many of you have worked on a program that got canceled because the results weren't as good as or as quick as leadership wanted? How many of you developed an enabling technology that worked great, only to watch it be put on a shelf when it didn't transition? How many of you have given it your all and felt like you came up empty? Third application to the NASA astronaut program, but I'm still not an astronaut. Mission failed, right? The answer to these questions are your own personal herd of goats. But you can't let that failure be the final chapter. The mission is still yours. The warfighter is counting on us to keep going, to keep trying, to keep putting those ideas out there. At AFRL, we're not the ones that pull the trigger. We're the ones that make that trigger better, more accurate, more lethal. We have to design, develop, and build those innovative technologies to support the next generation of warfighter so that they can decimate herds of goats.